Hello friends, welcome back to another episode of Movies and Melodies. Before I start this episode, I have a request of all of you. I know most of you watch my show on Facebook, but what I'd like you to do is go into YouTube and subscribe to my channel, and also if you could get all your friends and family to do the same, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Now back to the episode. I've been listening to a lot of songs about flowers in the sense of, either the heroine getting compared to a flower or how the whole garden blooms when she comes onto the scene and so on. So I thought, why not an episode on that theme? So to begin with, Professor. This came out in 1962. Shami Kapoor, Kalpana in the lead. She was not a, very famous heroine, I guess, because she only acted in a few movies and got married and moved away. But she's a good actor, and she holds her own against Shami Kapoor in the movie as well. A great movie, lots of fun, lots of laughs, a typical rom-com. Shami Kapoor, it plays to his strengths. So in that sense, it's sort of an out-and-out Shami Kapoor movie, but my opinion, I think it's Lalita Pawar who really wins the honors in the movie. She plays this autocratic aunt to two teenage girls. Her brother will have passed away and left her as the guardian to these two children, and she devotes her life to them in that she never gets married. So when she hires a tutor to come and take care of these girls and educate them, this role is played by Shami Kapoor pretending to be an old man. She starts interacting with the tutor and ends up falling in love with him. And then she starts to dream of a life of companionship with this man. And then in the end, when it's revealed that he was only playing this role and he actually is a young man who's in love with her niece, there is a huge sense of betrayal, sadness and anger as well. And Lalita Pawar is absolutely spot on in the way she portrays all these different emotions. You really feel very, very sad for her. It's quite heartbreaking, actually. You should watch the movie. It's excellent. Music is fantastic. Shankar Jaikishan with Shailendra Hasrat Jaipuri, but Hasrat Jaipuri writing the lyrics of the song that I'm going to share. This is a Mohammad Rafi solo. The words are "Ae Gulbadan, phoolon ki mehak, kaanton ki chubhan." Gulbadan indicating that she's as delicate as a flower. And phoolon ki mehak, kaanton ki chubhan, the beauty of a flower or the fragrance of a flower, and yet prickly as a thorn. Tujhe dekh ke kehta hai mera man, kahin aaj kisi se mohabbat na ho jaye. So he says, looking at you, I'm thinking, maybe I will fall in love with you.
गुलबदन फूलों की महक कांटों की चुभन तुझे देख के कहता है मेरा मन कहीं आज किसी से मोहब्बत ना हो जाए कहीं आज किसी से मोहब्बत ना हो जाए गुलबदन फूलों की महक कांटों की चुभन तुझे देख के कहता है मेरा मन कहीं आज किसी से मोहब्बत ना हो जाए कहीं आज किसी से मोहब्बत ना हो जाए हंसी मोड़ पर आ गई जिंदगानी के हकीकत न बन जाए मेरी कहानी क्या हंसी मोड़ पर आ गई जिंदगानी के हकीकत न बन जाए मेरी कहानी जब आहें भरे ये ठंडी सावन, सीने में सुलग उठती है अगन, तुझे देख के कहता है मेरा मन, कहीं आज किसी से मोहब्बत ना हो जाए, कहीं आज किसी से मोहब्बत ना हो जाए।
Taj Mahal. This came out in '63, the classic story of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal. Beena Rai and Pradeep Kumar were in the lead. It's a well-made movie and a super hit. Somehow that story seems to fascinate people to no end. The music, however, was excellent. So in that sense, I would watch the movie mainly for the music. Roshan was the music director for the movie, with Sahir Saab writing the lyrics. So absolutely beautiful combination, because Roshan Saab had a very delicate touch with his music, and it's almost like he was made to write music for very beautiful romantic situations. So the song I want to share, it's a duet, Lata ji and Rafi Saab. So the situation is where, early on in the courting days of the leading couple, Shah Jahan asks Mumtaz Mahal to come to meet him by the pavilion, at the pavilion by the river. When she gets there, she sees that he's strewn her path with roses. So she's sort of delicately picking her way through these flowers so as to not crush them, and he starts to sing this song to her. Paun chhu lene do, phoolon ko inayat hogi. This means let your feet touch the flowers, because they will think of it as a favor. Varna humko bhi nahi, unko bhi shikayat hogi. He says, otherwise, not only will I complain, but the flowers too will complain.
पाँव छू लेने दो, फूलों को इनायत होगी, इनायत होगी, वरना हमको नहीं इनको भी शिकायत होगी, शिकायत होगी।
आप जो फूल बिछाए उन्हें हम ठुकराए, आप जो फूल बिछाए उन्हें हम ठुकराए, हमको डर है कि ये तौहीन मुहब्बत होगी, मुहब्बत होगी।
दिल की बेचैन उमंगों पे करम फरमाओ, दिल की बेचैन उमंगों पे करम फरमाओ, इतना रुक रुक, इतना रुक रुक के चलोगी तो कयामत होगी, कयामत होगी। पाँव छू लेने दो, फूलों को इनायत होगी, इनायत होगी।
Arzu, which came out in '65, and this had Rajendra Kumar and Sadhana in the lead. Great movie. I loved it. It was one of my favorite movies, I have to say. Rom-com with a bit of conflict and anguish. It's a bit ridiculous looking at it from today's practicalities, but us zamane ka movie hai. The hero, ends up in an accident, loses a leg, and somehow imagines that this is going to be a burden on the heroine and she can't lead her life in peace or something if she marries a man who has lost a leg. It seems kind of ridiculous that he doesn't talk to her and ask her opinion of this, but that's how it was in those days. And there wouldn't be a movie, right, with no conflict. Music is awesome, and this song, Rafi Saab solo, Shankar Jaikishan, Hasrat Jaipuri again, but it's uber romantic, okay? ए फूलों की रानी, बहारों की मलिका, तेरा मुस्कुराना गज़ब हो गया. So he's saying, you are the queen of flowers, and in fact the queen of this whole, garden, and your smile is basically just out of this world.
ऐ फूलों की रानी, बहारों की मलिका, तेरा मुस्कुराना गजब हो गया। ऐ फूलों की रानी, बहारों की मलिका, तेरा मुस्कुराना गजब हो गया। न दिल होश में है, न हम होश में है, नजर का मिलाना गजब हो गया। तेरे होंठ क्या है, गुलाबी कमल है, ये दो पत्तियां प्यार की एक गजल है। वो नाजुक लबों से मोहब्बत की बातें हमें को सुनाना गजब हो गया। फूलों की रानी, बहारों की मलिका, तेरा मुस्कुराना गजब हो गया।
Saraswati Chandra. This came out in 1968. It was based on a Gujarati novel by the same name by Govardhan Ram Madhavram Tripathi. The story is very much in keeping with the times, and it's sort of actually based in a time much earlier than the 60s. The book is based in a very, very early 1900s kind of a situation. So Saraswati Chandra and Kumud are the two main leads of the story, and they are betrothed, but some kind of obstacles come up and they end up not getting married. She is then married off to a wealthy zamindar who is completely debauched, and he, you know, a wine woman song kind of a guy, and the women, or preferably any woman other than his wife kind of a person. She's deeply unhappy in her life, and yet, you know, because leaving the man was not an option in those times, she continues somehow to manage and, you know, lead some kind of a life of dignity. The movie gets progressively sadder and more complicated, and I walked away from the movie feeling extremely dissatisfied and irritated, but again, I speak from today's point of view, not those times. The music, however, very, very beautiful. Kalyanji Anandji with Indivarji writing the lyrics, and the acting was excellent, especially it was, I think, out and out a Nutanji movie. And there was this young Gujarati actor called Manish who played opposite her. He was not as polished and seasoned as her, so it makes him seem even more inadequate in comparison. I'm being a little harsh, but that's what I thought. It is definitely a movie worth watching. So this song is actually written early on in the courtship between Saraswati Chandra and Kumud. They are writing letters to each other, and it's a duet, Lataji with Mukesh Saab. Phool tumhe bheja hai khat mein, phool nahi mera dil hai. So it says, I'm sending you flowers in this letter, but it's actually not flowers, it's my heart.
जितने सागर में मोती, प्यार छुपा है खत में इतना, जितने सागर में मोती। होती, चूम ही लेता हाथ तुम्हारा, पास जो तुम मेरे होती।
फूल तुम्हें भेजा है खत में, नींद तुम्हें तो आती होगी, क्या देखा तुमने सपना। नींद तुम्हें तो आती होगी, क्या देखा तुमने सपना।
आँख खुली तो तन्हाई थी, सपना हो न सका अपना।
तन्हाई हम दूर करेंगे, ले आओ तुम शहनाई, ले आओ तुम शहनाई।
प्रीत बढ़ाकर भूल न जाना, प्रीत तुम्ही ने सिखलाई।
फूल तुम्हें भेजा है खत में, फूल नहीं मेरा दिल है, फूल तुम्हें भेजा है खत में।
Sharmili, that came out in 1972, it starred Shashi Kapoor and Rakhi. I guess at the time the story seemed kind of good. Looking at it from today's point, again, I know this is my personal ranting, but it just seems so unfair. It's the good twin, bad twin story, where the bad twin, essentially she is raped. And there is so much of victim shaming and blaming in this. Looking at it from today's perspective, you don't quite blame her for the bitterness and anger that she feels. But enough of my ranting. To get back to the songs, it was S.D. Burman's music with Neeraj Saab writing the lyrics, so exquisite on both fronts. This is a duet, it's actually a tandem song sung by Kishore Kumar and Lata Mangeshkar separately. And it's a very, it's romantic and yet it's kind of philosophical. So, खिलते हैं गुल यहाँ, खिल के बिखरने को, which means flowers bloom to wither away and die. मिलते हैं दिल यहाँ, मिल के बिछड़ने को. So, hearts also meet and yet they will have to separate at some time.
खिलते हैं गुल यहाँ, खिल के बिखरने को, खिलते हैं गुल यहाँ, खिल के बिखरने को, मिलते हैं दिल यहाँ, मिल के बिछड़ने को, खिलते हैं गुल यहाँ. कल रहे ना रहे मौसम ये प्यार का, कल रुके ना रुके डोला बहार का, कल रहे ना रहे मौसम ये प्यार का, कल रुके ना रुके डोला बहार का. चार पल मिले जो आज प्यार में गुजार दे, खिलते हैं गुल यहाँ, खिल के बिखरने को, खिलते हैं गुल यहाँ.
Bazaar. I jump forward another 10 years now to 1982. This movie was absolutely brilliant. It had Smita Patil, Nasiruddin Shah, Farooq Sheikh, Supriya Pathak, Bharat Kapoor. Incredible actors, incredible acting, incredibly well-made movie. It was a scathing indictment on society in general and society's attitude towards women. How poor families, and this was actually a huge thing at the time, and I think it still goes on, but at that time it was very, very much in the news as well, where very poor families were ending up marrying their daughters off to very wealthy men who lived in the Middle East, like Dubai, all of those areas. And these men would pay a lot of money to the families to marry these very, very young girls. And later on, other atrocities happened. It was all very, very sordid and extremely sad. So the movie, accordingly, is incredibly sad, but oh so beautifully made. Smita Patil is just, she ends by questioning whether she, as a woman herself, has not now bought into being exactly what she was condemning these men for. It's a very heart-wrenching movie. I recommend that you watch it, but all these caveats are there. Music, however, was absolutely fantastic, Khayyam Saab, and every song has a different lyricist. You have Makhdoom Mohyuddin, Bashar Nawaz, and you have Mir Taqi Mir. You even have Jagjit Kaur actually writing a song in the movie. So the song I want to share it's a love song between Farooq Sheikh and Supriya Pathak in the movie, and sung by Talat Aziz and Lataji, absolutely exquisitely sung, written by Makhdoom Mohyuddin. Phir chhidi raat baat phoolon ki. And again, in the night there is this talk of the flowers. And is it the night, or is it a whole barat or a procession of these flowers? Raat hai ya barat phoolon ki.
फिर छिड़ी रात बात फूलों की, फिर छिड़ी रात बात फूलों की।
रात है या बारात फूलों की, रात है या बारात फूलों की। फूल के हार, फूल के गजरे, फूल के हार, फूल के गजरे, शाम फूलों की, रात फूलों की, शाम फूलों की, रात फूलों की। फिर छिड़ी रात बात फूलों की।
That's it for today, friends. I hope you enjoyed it, and do chime in with your favorite pool songs. I'll be back in 2 weeks, but until then, remember, music is food for the soul. Keep listening.